This is a demo of DotNetNuke 6, a content management system. It's a system where you can set up a website, you can set up the ability to have a number of users who can go in and make edits and make changes and additions to a website, and it's really an easy way to maintain a website if you have a site that's done in a content management system. Basically, a content management system is a back-end system that manages the different types of content within a site, and those things may be text, that may be photos, could be forms or different functionality that you have in your site. All of those things are kept in a database. And there's also, in a content management system, typically a front end that allows you to make changes very easily to the site without knowing anything about programming. One of the nice things about most content management systems, and this is true with DotNetNuke, is that it allows you to create a skin. And a skin is basically the design of the site, the basic framework of what the website's going to look like. What it contains is usually some kind of a banner area. It's going to contain any kind of large background images you have. It's going to contain, as you can see in this one here, your navigation bar and what that looks like and how it works. It's going to have things built into it like what is the width of the site, whether it's a fixed width site or one that stretches. Those types of things are all built into the skin. And once we go through the demo, we'll be talking about the skin a little bit. So why don't we take a look right now at the editing interface. If you have a DotNetNuke site, you may have a login link. Typically it's in the upper right, but it could really be anywhere on the page depending on how the skin designer set it up. Or there may not be one. Most of the sites we do not have a login link because we don't really want to promote that people can actually log into something. If there is no login link, you would just type in the URL for your regular website, and if you add /login.aspx, you'll get to the login screen. For this one, I'll just click on Login, and it'll allow me to log in. I'll log in as an administrator. And you can see that the site looks a little different once we're logged in. The main difference you'll see is here across the top there's the admin bar, and that is where a lot of the links are for you to make changes and add things to the site. Just very quickly we'll run through what those links are. The admin link gives you a drop down with a bunch of different options for you to use. Things in there like the settings for the website. If you wanted to add user accounts, maybe you want to add another content manager user to it. File manager, where you can upload new images and things to be used in the site. Could be videos, could be PDFs, all sorts of different things. If you want to add Google Analytics to your site, you can add it there. Those types of things are in the admin. The modules link is a quick way to add what DotNetNuke calls a module, and basically a module is an area of content. So what you would do is, in this area you would choose what type of module you want and then choose where you want to put it. Under pages, this is where you can change settings of pages, you can add pages, you can copy pages, which is something I do a lot of. Once I get a page where I like the layout and I like the way it's looking, I'll just duplicate that page instead of just adding a new blank page and having to reformat those things again. And then tools is just an area where there are some common things, common functions that people use a lot, kind of quick links to it. The other thing that's in the admin area is this drop down in the right that shows you different views of the site. The options are the view, which is what a visitor to the website would see if they were going to it on the web. Edit, which is where you want to be for the most part when you're doing your content editing. And the difference you'll notice here from the edit view to the view is that when I roll over an area of the screen that's got content in it, and those are modules, as we talked about over on this drop down, as we roll over those little manage buttons, they brighten up and then they give you some options on how to manage that content. Also, when you're in the edit view, sometimes your page layout may look different, things may look different depending on the skin that's used. So typically when I'm doing editing, what I'll do is I'll jump back and forth from the edit mode to the view mode, just to keep checking myself. One thing you want to be aware of, though, is that if you are in the view mode, which you can see here, it will allow you to add modules. And you can set up the module you want to add and click on this add module link. And one thing to know is that when you add an empty module, you don't see it in the view mode. So you could click that and think it didn't do it and click it again, and I've done it a number of times and then finally realized I was in the view mode and not in the edit mode, and then when I click back to edit mode, I'll see 5 or 6 new modules in there where I really only wanted one. So it's just something to be made aware of. The other mode that you can view the page in is the layout mode. And what the layout mode shows you is what predetermined areas are built into the skin of the site for you to place content modules in. So this particular one has content pane right here, which you can see goes the full width of the site. Now that height is going to be determined by what you put in it, but this width is going to show you the width of the area that you will fill with the content. You also have this left pane, which is about 2/3 of the width of the screen, and this right pane, which is 1/3, and those are next to each other. And when you put content in those, if you have content in the content pane also, the left pane and the right pane will be below the content pane. There's also a bottom pane in this skin where you can add full width content below the left and right panes. And it's also showing you here that there is content in the left pane. It's this getting started module, and there is content in this right pane. So if I go back to the edit view, we can see that this getting started module is in the left pane. We can see that this content here is in the right pane. So that's an overview of DotNetNuke. Let's just run through a couple of ways to do some editing in a site like this. Basically what you want to do is find the content you want to edit by navigating to the site, and your navigation will work just like it does if you visit the site. So you can see here that I navigated to this services page, and I can see that there are areas that have content in them. And if I want to edit any of this, I just go over to the module that I want to edit and go to the Manage button, and I just click on Edit Content. What that does is it opens up the content editing interface. There are two views to this interface. There's this rich text editor view, which is where most people are going to want to do their content editing, because you don't need to know anything about programming to work in this mode. If you click on the basic text box, you can see that there is coding in along with the text and things that are part of it. If you know HTML coding, you can go into this mode and you can hard code some of the changes you want to make, and that does come in handy sometimes, but for the most part the rich text editor mode is the way to go about changing some things on in this module. So let's say we wanted to go in and delete some of this wording. You could go in, highlight what you want to get rid of, and if I just click the delete button on my keyboard, it deleted that. Let's say I wanted to bold some text, underline it. Maybe I want to add a new paragraph here. Maybe I want to take out the new paragraph that I had down there. Say I want to delete the picture. Just click it and press delete. And you can see I've made some changes. If I scroll down and click save, you will see that those changes were made within that module. If I go back in, let's say I want to add that image back in there. So I kind of click roughly where I want it. If I wanted it on this side, you can still put it here because the alignment of the picture is a separate setting. But the height of where it places it, it's going to fall into where I place the cursor. So I'll put the cursor here, and I'll look up at these controls up here. A lot of them are going to look similar to you if you use Microsoft Word or some other word processing package. You've got alignments over here. You've got bold, underline, italic here. And some of these are also different. This one here, the paperclip, is where you're going to want to insert media. If you're unsure, just roll over any of these icons and it tells you exactly what they do for you. So if I click on the paperclip and click on insert media, it's going to open up the folders that we have for this website. Well-organized website, it's going to have its pictures and images in a folder labeled properly. So if I go into the images folder, you'll see that there are a number of images in there. And let's just say I want to insert, let's say I want to insert that one into my copy. So I choose the image. I click on properties. If there's anything I want to change about it, I can change size, I can put a border on it, I can put in alt text. Alt text is very good for search engine optimization. If you have keywords that you know you want to be optimized for, you might want to weave them into some alt text for the image. It's not displayed on the screen, it's kind of back-end stuff, but that is helpful. You can do alignment, and usually I don't put an image in without doing some kind of alignment, because it does put it in a position that I want, and it also allows you to wrap the text around the image. So I'm going to make this right aligned, and it's going to wrap the text around the left side. So if I click insert, it put it to the right side. The text is wrapping down the left side. Click save, and I see the update. Now if I want to view what a visitor is going to see, it looks slightly different. Alright, another editing feature or change you want to be able to make. If